Welcome everyone to the 2021 Feast on the Field. Once again, CapitalCare Foundation with the support of Imperial Equities have brought Feast on the Field to your backyard and for some of you at one of our elite locations. It is always an exciting day when we get to enjoy the fresh menu items of Edmonton's top chefs. The local producers and food suppliers from the Edmonton region have once again stepped up to ensure you are getting the cream of the crop, meat, vegetables, and sweets to make today's event like no other. The signature menu you have today features Chef Steve Buzak's famous 17-spice ribs, the mouth-watering cold fried chicken from Northern Chicken Chefs Matt and Chef Andrew, the new to us Chef Harjeet's tasty beef brisket, and the fantastic salads by Chef Omar and Chef Vikram. I also want to point out that the desserts today are supplied and prepared by Wow Factor Desserts and the Young Chefs Association. These chefs are what make it all happen, along with the incredible support of our Edmonton food producers and suppliers. You are getting 13 courses today. Amazing. Some people have asked why the feast happens, and let me tell you, it's all about bringing community together. Years ago, our pioneers would gather as a community for harvest meals after helping each other with building projects, farming projects, and church fundraisers. Feast on the Field is designed to replicate that same energy and community spirit. Sherry Schaefer, the director of CapitalCare Foundation, is going to come on here shortly to tell you more about what the funds today will support. But first, let's take a look at this video about Aggie and Tad.
The pandemic has really forced people to stay apart and connect differently. Nowhere has it been more critical than at the long-term care centers, especially if they experienced an outbreak, sometimes lasting months. Families wanted to see their loved ones, and residents wanted to see their families. There were so many stories of virtual gatherings, celebrations, and moments of compassion when it came to keeping people connected. One such story has truly hit home, and we want to share that with you today. Tad was a longtime resident at CapitalCare Linwood, and Aggie, his daughter, spent many hours visiting her dad, as did her mom. Tad had dementia, and it was progressing. This meant he was more and more dependent on the supports of others. When Aggie went to visit, she would read aloud to him or listen to music. Meaningful memories and moments that mattered made each visit important. COVID meant so many restrictions, and more so for those living in long-term care. The fear of either getting COVID or being part of the spread was something that agonized Aggie as she tried to find a way to better stay engaged with her dad. Then there was the PPE. How could he possibly understand her reading or singing through a mask? She really felt she needed a new approach once an outbreak took over at the center. And there it was. The recreation team offered virtual visits. She knew she had to jump on that. They were short due to so few data-powered tablets, but something was better than nothing. Aggie booked for herself and her mom as often as possible. It allowed them to spend time with him without the limitations that masking and PPE created. It worked great under the circumstances and provided her and her mom time with him that was so precious. Then the day came when they heard he now had COVID. Conflicting thoughts of exposure for her mom and being there for her dad ran through her head. So she bought a laptop and an internet hotspot. The building's Wi-Fi connection was not strong enough to reach the resident rooms, so Aggie set up a virtual connection via the laptop directly at Tad's bedside. Aggie worked with the staff and set up regular evening Zoom. As COVID took hold of Tad, their worst fear came. He was now at end of life. As hard as it was to not be there, Aggie and her mom both felt they stayed connected virtually in a way that made the journey through the end of life meaningful for Tad. 60-plus years they were married, and not being together at this time was so hard. But their decision to keep all safe and connect virtually was a relief in so many ways. The hardest moment was when Aggie just knew. He was leaving them. After her mom said her last goodbyes, Aggie told her dad she loved him, then closed down the Zoom call. Within the hour they got a call. Tad had passed away. In the days that followed, Aggie reflected on the whole experience. She really hopes we can all help CapitalCare centers gain improved Wi-Fi. Maybe we won't be in a pandemic, but for those families who travel or live far away, or for those whose situations mean they just can't be there every day, connecting virtually is the way to go.
Thank you for taking the time to watch that video of Tad and Aggie. That story is so important and really shows the challenges and the experience that a lot of our residents and families had to go through during COVID. But I think most importantly what it does is it shows you that we have improvements to make in our centers so that we can have proper Wi-Fi for families to stay connected, whether we're in a pandemic or not. Families have the opportunity when they're traveling or when they're living abroad to stay connected with their loved ones in care, their seniors in care, and keep the families close so that the little children, the grandchildren, and great-grandchildren can touch base with grandma and great-grandma and stay connected. So I hope that you were able to see how important this was, and that when you make a donation today, that impact will make a difference for someone in care. The other purpose that we have for our funds that we raised today is also for our Zwozdesky Center. That center is going to be completed in 2023, and it is going to be one of the leading edge senior care facilities in Alberta and also in Canada. And so we know that the dollars that we fundraise for will add to some of the tech, some of the programming needs, and some of the family areas that people will be able to experience when they're visiting, all making it so much better of a facility for people to enjoy when they're there. Our residents that are there are their long-term care. We also have short-term stay for rehab, day program, dementia care, mental health for seniors, all important areas that we need to ensure that we provide for our seniors' care in Alberta. And so your help today will make a big difference. If you're able to make a donation, there's QR codes on your program today. Just take a look, click on it, and you can get right through to the donation site. Or your hosts, whether you're in the backyard or at one of our elite locations, will have a donation card which you can complete and give to them. Every dollar counts, and thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. Now, how about that meal that we had today? Feast on the Field is best known for a signature dinner that our chefs all put together, and you know they're volunteering their time. And so I want to say a huge thank you to our chefs, also the food producers who supply all the food, and all of our sponsors who make it a special evening for everyone. So I hope you're having a good time. And one more thank you I want to say is to our volunteers. We have over 70 volunteers who make the day possible. If we didn't have them, we truly couldn't put this event on. And so we want to say a big, huge thank you and a round of applause for our volunteers. Thanks, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the evening, and I'm going to turn it over to Daintree now.
What an evening so far. I hope you're all having an amazing time, whether you're in a backyard or at one of the incredible elite locations. The food has been fantastic, and I'm so glad that we've been able to experience this great community connector of an event. A couple last reminders for everyone before we head out to enjoy the Gen Cole Backyard Games. Remember to post your pics of the evening by tagging @FeastOnTheField or hashtag Feast on the Field. And if you want to see some of your pictures featured on Pattison billboards throughout the city over the next few days, grab your Feast on signs, capture your group picture, and email them in. Let's show Edmonton what a great time you had tonight at Feast on the Field. My last word, I promise. Don't forget to get your 50/50 tickets. Sales end tonight at 11:59 and the draw will take place tomorrow, August 12th. The amount is rising and every ticket adds to what you could be taking home as the 50/50 winner.